Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 613th Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. My name is Dr. Susan Tai, and I am privileged to serve as Provost and Vice President Academic at McMaster University. This morning, I have the great pleasure of acting as your Master of Ceremony and welcoming all of you, graduates and guests, to this convocation ceremony. On behalf of the university, I would like to recognize and acknowledge that today we meet on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We must remember that we have a role in upholding the spirit of this agreement, which urged for the peaceful sharing of Earth's resources. We must not forget that merely acknowledging our presence on these traditional lands is only a small step of our shared path of reconciliation. I challenge you to consider how you can foster the reconciliation among the many peoples that inhabit these lands. I would like to start the proceedings today by acknowledging some notable leaders joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, Associate Vice President of Students and Learning and Dean of Students, Mr. Sean Van Coonet, the Dean of DeGroote School of Business, Dr. Khalid Hassanein, and Associate Deans, faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, I would ask that you all turn off your electronic devices so that we don't hear any rings or beeps during the ceremony. I would now like to call upon our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, to deliver the Thanksgiving address and to make her own welcoming remarks.
Yahweh, Provost Tai. Sego, Sewaguego. Greetings. Hello, everyone. Wat Guinualado. Welcome to the convocation for the class of 2022. Before we begin, I would like to start with the words before all else, also known as the Thanksgiving Address. Se watahosios ne gatne galiwesa, ne ona ne angalihohetste, ne ganawala dansurla. These words that I'm speaking in Gaingeha, the Mohawk language, are words that help to bring our minds and hearts together, to acknowledge, to give thanks, affirm our interconnections and interdependence, cultivate compassion and kindness, and recognize our responsibilities for sustaining and living and promoting balance and peace with all creation. It's also a time that we are thinking about those who may be hurting, injured, or sick, that these words will also help bring peace and calm to our hearts and minds. Daitinu walaro ne ongwe su'a, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks and greetings to the people, our ancestors, our family, friends, all nations, so be it in our minds. Daitinu walaro ne yetini stoha johunjade, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks and greetings to our Mother Earth, for she provides us with everything that we need to survive and thrive. So be it in our minds. Dayetinu walado ne gane galunyo, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nagula. We give thanks to the waters, from the oceans to the streams, to the waters flowing in our bodies. Water is life. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne gonjunk su'a, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks and greetings and gratitude to the fish life, who help to purify the water and provide us with nourishment. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne yuntunduni, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to all of the plants, from the grasses to the medicines that help to purify and strengthen our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne odzit no wasu'a, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to the insect world, who helps to pollinate the plants. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne jonhekwa, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to our sustenance foods, so be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne wa yaniunta, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to the fruit life, who helps to nourish our bodies, so be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne gonzirio, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to all of the animals who sacrifice their lives to help sustain us and who are our teachers. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne zito onguam, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to the birds whose beautiful singing help to uplift our spirit and bring peace and calm to our hearts. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne galunda onguam, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to all of the trees. We cannot survive without the oxygen that they provide. The roots and sap provide nourishment and healing, cleansing for our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne zower lawonier, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks and acknowledgement of the circulating winds, who travel the earth bringing new breath and new life. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walado ne lariwerlas, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to the grandfather thunderers, who purify the air and awaken the earth and awaken us. So be it in our minds. Datsi dawanualaro ne anjangeni galakwa, eto nayonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give greetings and acknowledgement to our eldest brother, son, who appears each morning consistently to provide us with sunshine, protection, and sustenance for all living things, so be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne asata nega wat nirele, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to our grandmother Moon for her powerful pull on our waters, connection to women and birth, so be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne yo gisto huarlunyo, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to the stars, the cosmos, for providing us with guidance and direction, so be it in our minds. Dayati nuwalaro ne deyonke yadado, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give acknowledgement to our protectors, our spiritual guardians who provide clarity of mind and peace in our hearts, so be it in our minds. Datsi dawanuwalaro ne sangwayandeso, eto na yonto hage ne nagwat nigula. We give thanks to all of creation, the creative energy that exists in everything, in everywhere, in all of us, the Great Spirit. So be it in our minds. Da eto ne yawanage, ne gawanage, da eto. Nyawe, for listening to those words. I hope that these words offer you what the aim of the address is to unify our hearts and minds, to acknowledge the immensity of the creative living universe of which we are a very small part as human beings. It provides us with daily context about our interdependence and our responsibilities for upholding this balance with care and much gratitude. We are grateful to be here today in acknowledgement and celebration of all of your accomplishments, especially through these past challenging times. Let us honor the work that has been done, and let's celebrate. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Please enjoy the ceremony.
Thank you, Chancellor Smith. I would now like to introduce the Dean of the DeGroote School of Business, Dr. Khaled Hassanein, to make his own welcoming remarks, and then he will present the honorary degree recipient.
Thank you, Dr. Tai, and congratulations, class of 2022, sorry. I'm honored to be here in person with all of you today. It's my great privilege to share this very special moment with you. I know what it feels like to sit in your seat, to be roped and full of excitement surrounded by your peers. I know the joy you feel, taking with your family and acknowledging the tremendous accomplishments and sacrifices that led to this day, this seat, and this one special moment. So allow me to share some of the wisdom I have accumulated over the years when it comes to convocations. Well, first, do not make a mistake about the year. Do not trip on the edge of the carpet on your way up to the stage. Only follow the person in front of you if they know where they are going. And let your parents take as many photos as they want. They have earned this right. On a more serious note, though, you are now a graduate. Now it's time for you to go out on your own to start your own adventure. But remember that you're not alone. Look around you at the peers and colleagues that have been with you over the last several years. You studied together, attended class together, stayed up late to complete assignments together, and supported one another during challenging times. The same DeGroote community will be with you as you transition into your new career. You may even see familiar faces when you enter the workplace. They may sit across from you in the boardroom and volunteer with you in the community. No matter what is on the horizon for you, as you head out in the business world, I hope you take with you a strong sense of community from your time at DeGroote and McMaster. McMaster University is a special place for me. I've been here for almost 22 years, and throughout this time, I've had the privilege of seeing many cohorts graduate. Throughout my career, I have looked back at my time as a student with deep affection. Those experiences of learning and growing, surrounded by my peers, staff, and faculty, have helped shape who I am today. I encourage you to keep growing and engaging in lifelong learning. Seek knowledge, whether it's formal education or learning from mentors and those around you. Look to the staff and faculty experts who were dedicated to your success during your time with us and who will continue to support you as you move forward. Take with you the experiences and skills you gained both inside and outside the classroom. Skills like creative problem solving, collaboration, critical thinking, and global perspective. In the age of AI, these human differentiating skills will serve you well in any career you pursue. Today, you join the more than 23,000 DeGroote alumni and 220,000 McMaster alumni in 140 countries around the world. They are cabinet ministers, business leaders, scientists, university presidents, Hollywood actors, Olympians, astronauts, and Nobel laureates. The DeGroote Alumni Network is a powerful network of people, and I hope you continue to strengthen these ties. Here at DeGroote, we believe in education with purpose. I look forward to seeing the positive mark you will make on business and society in years to come. You are the next generation of business leaders. Congratulations once more, and I wish you a bright future. Thank you. I would like now to present our honorary degree recipient. Chancellor Smith, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Rola Dagher. Rola Dagher immigrated to Canada as a young mother in the 1990s. Leaving Lebanon at the end of the country's civil war. In the relatively short time since, she has become a leader in the technology sector, having played key roles with 3 different giants of the industry, while establishing herself as a champion of diversity. Ms. Dagher is the Global Channel Chief for Dell Technologies after previously serving as President of Cisco Systems Canada for 3 years. Prior to that, she held sales leadership roles at Dell and Bell Canada. After launching her technology career with Bell, she moved through a series of promotions to become sales director. She then joined the team at Dell Technologies for the first time to become that company's executive sales director and then general manager of Enterprise Solutions Canada. She was the vice president and general manager of the Infrastructure Solutions Group at Dell, EMC, before joining Cisco as president in 2017. She led Cisco to become a top employer in Canada for women and launched mental health and early career programs for the company's workforce before returning to Dell in her current capacity. As an active member of the Business Council of Canada and a member of the US-Canada Innovation Partnership, Ms. Dagher helps shape policy around the workforce of the future and promotes the adoption and acceleration of emerging technologies, innovation, and research. She also helped launch McMaster's Women in Tech Changemaker initiative and has been engaged with the university's IT community and Executive MBA in digital transformation. A staunch advocate for diversity, Ms. Dagher has dedicated herself to empowering, supporting, and fostering diverse talent. Her commitment to empowering women was recognized when WXN named her one of the 2020 top 25 women of influence as part of the Canada's Most Powerful Women Top 100 program. Women in Communications and Technology named her as the 2019 Woman of the Year. She was selected to RBC's list of the top 25 Canadian immigrants for 2019, was named Lady of the Cedar by the Lebanese Embassy, and received the Leadership Award from the Canadian-Lebanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Ms. Dagher is an active community volunteer who sits on the board of Cedar's Cancer Foundation. She is the co-founder of Black North Initiative, a member of the Circle of Champions for Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council, a member of the advisory board for Catalyst, which works to accelerate progress for women in the workplace, and an active member of the 30% Club, a global campaign to increase gender diversity within corporate boards and senior management. She also has a strong mission in mental health, as she serves on the board of Kids Help Phone and on the foundation board of the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. Chancellor Smith, it is a pleasure to present to you a technology sector leader and a staunch advocate for issues including mental health and diversity. I ask that you confer upon Rola Dagher the degree Doctor of Laws, Honors Causa.
Rola Dagher, by the authority of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Law, Honoris Causa, in McMaster University with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. I would now like to invite Dr. Dagher to deliver the convocation address.
Wow. I have goosebumps. I wore the wrong shoes because my knees are shaking. But it's unbelievable. Let me just start by saying no one gets on a podium on their own. So my gratitude and thank you to the entire front row, second, third, fourth row. You guys are amazing. For you to pick someone like me is such an honor. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for believing in an immigrant that came to this country 33 years ago. Thank you. Let me start thanking my amazing children that make me a better mom every day. Stephanie and Michael, you are my rock. Well, Michael, you're more like my mountain. My mom and dad, thank you. I love you, Dad. Habib qalbi anta wal mama. My sisters, my brother-in-laws, the front second row, and all my nieces and nephews. When I was submitting names, they're like, wow, that's like 26 people. I'm like, yeah, that's the immediate family only. But most importantly, from all my nieces and nephew is my wonderful 4-year-old nephew, my hero, Joseph, that is fighting leukemia. Joseph, stand up so they could see a fighter in you, Habibi. Come on, Joseph. Come on, Joseph. He is 13 months into his fight, and he's got a year to go, and he actually gives me life every day. So no one complain when he sees Joseph. I love you, Habibi. Because 20 years from now, you better be standing on this podium, and I will be by your side cheering for you when you get your honor degree as well. My mentors that are in the front row, when you find a mentor in life and becomes a coach, your life coach that makes you a better person, he is in front here. Armagon, thank you for being here. Mo, Mo Shahadi, you invited me to speak at McMaster. You said there was a boring speaker, and I thought that you would be awesome. He's going through his executive MBA, and that's how it started a few years ago, after receiving a call from Mo. So thank you for being here with me, because it started with you. So thank you. So, wow. Where do I begin? A little girl from a small town called Dahar Lamghara. If I were to translate it to you in English, it's back at the cave. It's a tiny village with no formal degree, no formal education, to an honorary doctorate degree. Seriously? So I received the email from McMaster, from the president, and I read it a few times. So English is not my first language, not my second or third. So I thought, maybe it's my English, let me read it again. Maybe it's a mistake, it's supposed to be going to somebody else. And is this for real? Then I called my friend and my coach, and I read it to him to ensure I got it right. And I understood it correctly. He said, Rola, yes, it is true, you got it. Then I called my family, all of them, on FaceTime, and they're like, is everything okay? What's wrong? And in my Lebanese style, I said, I got an honorary doctorate degree. I don't think my parents understood what that meant, but my sisters were cheering on the Lebanese way, and I couldn't hear what anyone was saying. It was emotional, lots and lots of happy tears. Truth be told, this is the first time in my life I am crossing an academic stage. It took me 10 weeks to put together 10 minutes of a speech for all of you today. And it took me 51 years, yes, that's my age, and I love being 51, to get to this very moment. Never, ever in my wildest dreams did I think I would be standing here today in front of all of you, an entire crowd of professors, students, scholars accepting this doctorate. And all the graduates 2022, you did it. COVID and all, you did it. You guys had the toughest loneliness time in history, and you did it. But most importantly, the parents that are in the room today, congratulations on getting your kids, because that is the most proudest part of your life in the moments that you will celebrate with them. So congratulations. I am honored, extremely humbled, and absolutely filled with gratitude to be receiving this degree. If I was meant to follow the normal trajectory of life, I wouldn't have waited half a century to get a degree. I would have been on an academic stage over 30 years ago. But instead of graduating from high school, I ran away from snipers. Instead of learning physics, I mastered how to carefully navigate missiles by escaping into a bomb shelter. Instead of going to prom, I became skilled at covering the ears of my 2-month-old baby from the sounds of dropping grenades. My life did not follow a typical path. If anyone knows me, you know typical is not in my vocabulary. Neither is no. but we'll get to that later. I am a disturber, sometimes called a shit disturber. Actually, most of the times I'm called a shit disturber. In fact, I recall being 11 years old when my father sent me to boarding school in the middle of nowhere in a tiny village in Lebanon. Him and Mom had enough of me climbing hydro poles and terrorizing the local bullies in our village. I lasted few months there when my father received a call from the headmaster and the bishop of the school, said, "Mr. Dagger, please come pick up your money and also your daughter as well." I would always find a way to do the unexpected. I was known to beat up most of the boys in my village because I got picked on. And also I was known as, "Don't mess with the Dagger girl. She has a mind of her own." 51 years later, I'll tell you, not much has changed. My spirit was and is strong and tough, which naturally made me, in my father's eyes, the boy he never had. See, my parents had 6 girls. They tried really hard. Number 6, my grandmother came, said, "Michael, try for another one." He said, "Mom, I love you. Get the hell out of my house." It was a true blessing in my parents' eyes, but a curse to many others in our town, because they looked at my parents and they said, "Haram," meaning poor parents. What are they going to do with 6 girls? And boy, did we prove them all wrong. At 9, my father is a mechanic at trade, taught me how to change the tire on his car in less than 3 minutes. I think now, Dad, you have to teach me in less than 2 seconds, because F1s are all about 2 seconds to change the tires. Which made him so proud to have his little girl learn all the trades of what a boy can do. But it drove my mother crazy because I got to dirty my dress just before going to Palm Sunday at church. I challenged the expected, and I broke many, many barriers. No is a small but mighty word. A word we sometimes fear to hear. A word that's associated with rejections or failures. But it's also a word that pushes us outside of our comfort zone, because that comfort and growth do not coexist. One that takes you from good to great. One, I was told no, I thought of all the reasons for a yes. And today, when I'm told yes, I appreciate it, and I never take for granted that it could have been a no. I am a living proof of the power of yes. So take those no's and turn them into opportunities, and those opportunities that turn into gratitude. See, life has knocked me down few times. And when I say few times, I mean few times. It has showed me things I never wanted to see. I've experienced poverty, sadness, illness, abuse, and failure. But one thing is for sure, I always did, and I always will get up again. Always will get up again. Although I was bent and broken, my resiliency always prevailed. I rose up each time stronger and more resilient. From abuse to war, to discrimination to racism and diseases. Each chapter of my life held its challenges, but each chapter of my life had its unique purpose and lessons. I always say, trust the process and never underestimate the power of struggle that turns into strength. Whenever we see successful people, we only see the public glory, never the private sacrifice and the pain. But it's the pain that is the greatest lesson one can accumulate. See, the true difference between life and school, you guys are graduated, you went to school. In school, you are taught a lesson, then you take a test. Well, in life, you are given the test before you're taught the lesson. The test is the lesson. I have spent an entire lifetime preparing for today. If someone would have told me I would be here, I would say, I'm not sure what you're drinking or smoking. I would like to share 3 lessons that I've learned throughout my life. My 51-year-old book, My Life Being Me. 1, cherish the person you are and own it. I repeat, cherish the person you are and own it. We try so hard in life to fit in, but the true value is when we stand out. And you can only stand out by being you because everyone else is taken. We spend too much time trying to reach each other's people's standards, and too little time defining our own. It's better to disappoint another person, I tell you, than lead a life that disappoints you forever. And success is not about meeting someone else's expectations. It's about living up to yours in an authentic and deliberate way. I'll tell you a story a few years ago when I assumed the position as a CEO at Cisco Canada. I met this chairman and the global CEO when he came to Canada for a visit. And it just happened that in the same building, my sister Carol was in the lobby. And Carol, of course, her curiosity always, said, "Oh, did you know my sister doesn't have a formal degree?" I looked at her, I'm like, oh shit, he didn't know that. But she did tell him. He looked at her and he said, "Carol, Rola has a PhD in life. That cannot be taught. Those words never leave me. Especially in moments where, like many of us, I doubt myself or my ability." The truth is, it's not in spite of my lack of education, formal education, that I got here. It is because my past that I was able to build my strength, practice resilience, and master my survival instincts, allowing me to turn my wounds into wisdom. It is because I was faced with severe hardship. I understood that the only person who can change the course of my future is myself and I. See, the best way to predict the future is to create it, because life owes you nothing. Life is an opportunity for you to make the best of. That's what my father reminds me every single day. Manifesting what you want is extremely important. Working hard and relentlessly towards those goals is the consequential. No one, I mean no one, deserves the best version of you than you. My second lesson, and it's a very important one, take care of yourself. Because your health is your wealth. See, I neglected myself and my health for years because I thought I was a superwoman and I was invincible. I just recovered from COVID 2.0. That means number 2 COVID. And I'm suffering from long COVID now for 2 years. That damaged my organs on so many levels that leaves me debilitated most days. I go from talking to you and looking great to not being able to get off the couch. I'm also a cancer survivor. And if there's one thing that I can go back in time and ask for, it is to take care of both my mental and physical health better. Don't ever separate them because your body and mind are inseparable. Being unapologetically me has allowed me to leave a lasting impression and empower others to do the same. I was in Vegas a few weeks ago. We had a huge conference, 8,000 people. In the hallways of Vegas, there was a lady on a scooter. And it just happened that I was also on a scooter, a wheelchair scooter, because I can't walk like I used to walk in the old days because of COVID. She turned at me and stopped in the middle of the hall and said, "Rola, you inspired me." I said, "How so?" She said, "I have MS, and I refused to be on the scooter wheelchair because I didn't want people to criticize me. But my team said, if Rola Dagger is on a scooter and can't walk, you can. Thank you for inspiring me." My third lesson is, we make a living off of what we get, but we make a life of what we give. You can either choose to leave something for people, or you can leave something in people. That is your choice. What earned me the right to have this doctorate is the legacy I continue to create and the impact I am determined to leave. Not the title, not the money, not the houses you chase. If you can help others, do it. Do it, do it. It is that simple. Whether it's through pioneering myself that I've done mental health initiatives, supporting the beautiful immigrant community that I came from in our country and many immigrants that landed here. This is the country and the land of opportunity and hope. Co-founding Black North, raising awareness of fund for Kids Help Phone and other various boards and charities, and raising $55 million for my country, Lebanon, when the explosion happened. There is no greater reward for me in life than giving back. That is my life, where I get energy from. But throughout all of my accolades and accomplishments, my biggest win in life is being able to pay it forward to my parents and my sisters and my nieces and nephews. My parents that sacrificed everything for myself and my 5 sisters. Recently, when I was really ill with COVID, I thought about a lot of things, but most of my memories went back to my childhood. I was able to rebuild the house that we grew up in. All of us 6 girls we were born in. The home we were forced to leave in the middle of the war, the home that my father built brick by brick with his bare hands that he hasn't seen in 45 years, the home that taught me the importance of family and values, rebuilding the house that was destroyed when we left Lebanon and donating it to our community in my father's and sister's name. That is my biggest accomplishment in life, period, full stop. See, my father was 51 years old when he left everything behind in Lebanon. He's in the second row. So he can provide a better life for his 6 daughters. Can you imagine the sacrifice he did at 51? Well, it just happens that today I'm also 51, my father's age then. His sacrifices then is the reason I'm standing in front of you all today on stage. I'm going to address my father and my mother in Arabic. Baba, أنت والماما قلت لي من جمعتين إنه كان عمرك 51 وقت جيت على كندا. وأنا عمري 51 هلأ عم باخد هاي الشهادة باسمك واسم إخواتي. أنت كل عمرك تعبت أنت والماما وكبرتنا لصرنا هون. ونحن هلأ منطلع فيك منفتخر بكل شيء تعذبته أنت والماما لصرتوا هون. ويا بيي أنت عطول بتقلي الأرض تطلع لك والسما تنزل لك. الأرض طلعت لي أكتر ما بستاهل يا بيي ونزلت لي كمان أكتر. من إخواتي ومني الأرض اللي تمشي عليها أنت وأمي نحن منقدسها. Thank you. حبيبتي أنت. So if I'm going to leave you all with something today over and above my lessons, see, I always talk about learn it, earn it, and return it. Let me tell you what that means. The first 20 plus years, you will learn it, which you have, and that's why you are here today. And the purpose of learning it in life is to discover your gift. The next 20 years of your life, you will earn it because nothing is given. You have to earn it. And that is the work of life when you develop it. But life will only be complete for you when you return it. The meaning of life is to share your gift with others so you can raise them up. That elevator goes up and down, so you better make sure that every time you go down, you lift other people along with you. That is my coach and my mentor's words to me 10 years ago. So my family and I will forever internally be grateful for those that took chances on me. Because I finally have something to show for my PhD in life. From the bottom of my heart, congratulations, graduates. And please remember, we need you. I need you. Canada needs you, and definitely one of you better be running Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, and I'm sure you'll be an immigrant as well. Your family needs you. They worked hard to get you to where you are today. We need you to show up united, to speak up proudly, and to stand up strongly for all of us. Your future choice is yours and no one else's. Remember one thing. It's not about when you get knocked down, It's about what you do when you get back up. Thank you very much and congratulations again.
Congratulations, Dr. Dagger. What an inspiring story, and thank you for sharing it with us today. I would now like to welcome President Farrar and Vice Chancellor to the podium to present the graduates to the Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduates please stand? This is when they turn the lights on and we actually get to see you. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those of you before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I now ask each of you to join me on stage so the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars. I would be delighted to shake your hands or bump fists or touch elbows or to acknowledge your accomplishments without touching. Our Chancellor will acknowledge your accomplishments without touching.
Honored guests, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduates, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Commerce Honours. Ryan Abhari. Alexander Adams. Kristen Danielle Agnoletto. Zaina Ahmed. Hamna Ahmad. Qazi Omer Ahad. Saeed Asha Ahmed. Fatima Ayaz. Khalid Al-Muzani. Zaid Belal Al-Fayez. Kyle Rolando Allen. Kanishka Rayendra Almeida. Mohammed Ali. Mohammed Omar Ansari. Deborah Ansong. Harrison Shane Kaufman Anticol. Shamil Anwar. Karan Krishnan Arora. Yusra Asif. Adina Asmat. Diana Atri. Mandy Au. Nathan Ayung. Toluwalesi Molalua Owanuga. Caitlin Pacheco Azudia. Hana Ahmed Zaina Labeden Mohammed Badawi. Kevin Mario Bagnell. Miles Clark Baldwin. Pavan Sean Banger. Troy John Barrett. Michael Anthony Batso. Chloe Margaret Bishar. Sarah Ann Becker. Neil Niraj Badwaj. Jorawa Singh Bhatti. Oruj Bhatti. Cassidy Melinda Robin Bignell. Kaylin Mallory Blinken. Emma Eileen Blue. Mark Bobrovsky. Alexander Michele Bozo. Raya Bustami. Chindi Tsai. Anthony Jordan Kamarelli. Danny Tsao. Tsiki Tsao. Michael Robert Carnevale. Matthew Carter. Victoria Catherine Carter. Anthony Caruso. Hunter Christian Caswell. Justin Tyler Chan. Keith Lapyin Chang. Yiching Chang. Nancy Chen. Xu Cheng. Zihan Cheng. On-Ho Sebastian Cheung. Chimran Chatwal. Shivon Chiu. Poonam Chauhan. Turab Chowdhury. Harshita Chowdhury. Maria Elete Chronis. Gay Chu. Danielle Ezio Ginelli. Gabriella Lucy Coglio. Oh Ja-hun Kok. Christian Manuel Comiso. William Douglas Cosburn. Honorary Thomas August Coyne. Chase Matthew Culbert. Michael Rudolph Cusetto. Carolyn De Silva. Matthew Durzo. Glory Madupe Dahunzi. Mason Peter Joseph Damianadis. Jacob Santiago da Silva. Marco Giovanni De Lorenzis. Junhao Deng. Jasmine Singh Dio. Rajan Dio. Joseph Samuel De Sourdi. Gagandeep Kaur Dhaliwal. Shelley Dhaliwal. Sukhmaninda Kaur Dhaliwal. Francesca Yolanda Di Fronzo. Jad Hussein Diab. Melissa Caitlin Diana. Isabella Annette Diaz. Annarita Di Liberatore. Adit Dixit. Selena Dominguez Florian. Christina Dominic. Xiting Dong. Kieran Hugh Downey Cheetham. Jessica Duong. Megan Violet Edwards. Simsad Ehsan. Soyeb Ehsan. Nadine Elzarka. Joshua Emmerling. Noel John Eugenio Erpello. Ariana Roslyn Espiritu. Martina Louise Faith. Gianluca Manuel Figueiredo. Adam David Fletcher. Anastasia Focas. Anthony Joseph Foti. Elora Rose Franklin. Angus Alexander Fraser. Kyle Jeffrey Fraser. Yun Chao Fu. Zun Fu. Jordan Gabriel Fucciarelli. Vincenzo Vittorio Gambale. Guo Hao Go. Xinyi Gao. Shui Yun Gao. Liam Garland. Jessica Giancani. Julia Marie Giannini. Abhijit Gill. Pamva Singh Gill. Baljot Singh Gian. Alisa Nicole Judita. Aidan J. Gorchinsky. Gurkaran Grewal. Hiran Gu. Sarah Habib. Daniel Haidar. Saida Ahmal Ada. Stephanie Elizabeth Halliday. Justin Ham. Jackie Han. Dua ul Haq. Saeed Nachi Hassan. Gurshan Singh Haya. Shanshan Hay. Wing Jin Hay. Najib Saeed Hersi. Adrian Hick. Graham Hillier. Jingwen Hu. Ryan Huang. Winshuan Hang. Haida Ali Hussein. Sofia Yakao. Sara Yantomasi. Tolga Itzel. Michael Alexander Jakob Yenis. Yanisha Yegadir. Saeed Abdullah Jamil. Mark Roman Yavornitsky. Amy Lynn Jenkins. Ramiz Jerris. Yunfeng Ji. San Jiang, Derek Jili Jiang, Sam Jiang, Yilan Jiang, Mark Anthony Johnson, Ridam Kakar, Mohammed Kamal, Maha Kamran, Simran Kang, Amal Kassam, Kanika Katuria, Prabjit Kaur, Alexandra Naomi Akemi Keller, Hudaya Fark Khan, Sana Khan, Mohammed Suhaya Khatib, Ryan Conrad Barkley King, Matthew Alexander Kiss, Hannah Laura Joanne Koch, Sarah Sohail Kokra, Daniel Joseph Kui, John Daniel Kopis, Andrea Kovacevic, Christian Joseph Kovacevic, Aditra Krishnan, Thomas Kromka, Athra Kubi, Yapinder Singh Kular, Ayush Kumar, Biranavi Kumara Sami, Kyle Edward Lackenbauer, Keith Larty, Angela Emily Lamb, Brian Lamb, Daniel Roy Langford, Alexander Song-Ho Lee, Jane Sophie Lee, Valerie Emily Lefort, Jack Leslie, Kyra Ann Leung, Graham Douglas Earl Lewis, Nicholas Andrew Lewis, Benjamin Lee, Binghan Lee, Janan Lee, Shijiang Li, Xinying Li, Shijuan Liang, Stephen Jacob Liao, Catherine Lin, Jixian Lin, Anyang Liu, Fanfei Liu, Jianming Liu, Wenji Liu, Yihong Liu, Jiwo Liu, Zilong Liu. Rachel Mary Logan. William Loy. Matthew Xion Lu. William James Luchak. Clara Heng Tung Liu. Taige Liu. Talia Brianna Lusterio. Eden Joy Ma. Kelvin Ma. Wenchao Ma. Liam Stephen MacDonald. Seamus Ian McClellan. Ian Madjak. Munam Majid. Ahlam Makhtel. Jacob William Macris. Sumit Mali. Rania Malik. Justin J. Manson Hing. Damian Peter Marchinko. Jennifer Lynn Martins. Madeline Grace Martin. Zachary Masri. Jasraj Singh Mataru. Milica Matijevic. Ryan James Matthews. Brendan James McAllister. Nathan Tyler McDonald. Renee Kimberly McNeil. Michael Medic. Mohammed Momin Mehta. Hafsa Enayat Memon. Jeffrey Mendoza. Andrew David Mapam. Meg Yan Yu Miller. Matthew Logan Milne. Andreas Nicholas Messios. Kayla Marie Montesi. Tyler David Stewart Monroe. Lauren McLean Murphy. Zachary Aidan Pollard Murphy. Saeed Ali Mustafa. Inbisat Nadim. Gurpreet Singh Nagra. Bridget Alexandra Nairn. Sovon Siddharth Nanda. Abigail Rose Nickerson. Yingyi New. Rida Norman. Siemens Nosa Ogbedi. Kyle William O'Neill. Abianuju Jennifer Odenigbo. Danielle Oyangan. Ahigi Tiron Okataka. Lauren Olson. Michael Jordan Ong. Obidullah Osmani. Duola Uwang. Juliana Lawrence Pace. Michael Anthony Pacheco. Matthew Joseph Patsosh. Katrina Paras. Benjamin Scott Partridge. Nicholas Clark Partridge. Abanija Pascaranathan. Santiago Pataroya Royas. Haley Patel. Jayeshri Urani Pathak. Emily Nicole Payne. Michael David Penny Carrasco. Simon Michael Pereira. Alisa Adele Perzillo. William Jacob Peterson. Vanessa Zuen Fong. Melissa Pillai. Lucas Andrew Pocoboni. Tiffany Tse Ke Pong. Minnie Y. Ye Poon. Xavier Post. Michael George Power. Niloshan Prakash. John Paul Romeo Prosya. Alexandra Cora Prushkovsky. Mustafa Asim Puri. Shi Chin. Momina Kuram Qureshi. Saman Rahimian. Abhirami Rajkumar. Mikaela Tanuja Ramral. Cameron Hubert Ramola. Nayushin Rashid. Stacey Marie Rayner. Braden Scott Reed. Shuhui Ren. Sabrina Emily Reynoso. Jack Douglas Rickers. Alicia Grace Ridge. Caitlin Jane Robillard. Cole Sinclair Hawkins Robin. Danielle Tricia Diaz Romero. Alexander Cortich Rock. Gregory Francesco Rufa. Lauren Vanessa Ryder. Marie Sayadi. Daphne Sejivan. Lamia Salih. Anup Singh Samra. Rabjit Singh Sangha. Karina Nicole Santucci. Joseph Franco Scalia. Erin Lindsay Schlosser. Lee Nicole Schneider. Tyler Schropp. Madison Seabrook. Neha Sehal. Abhik Sen. Cameron Joel Serafini. Matthew Anthony Sergi. Michelle Seto. Marcus Simon Shanarazarian. Mohammed Hanza Sheikh. Holly Shariati. Kunal Sharma. Priya Shergill. Wenwen Shi. Sarah Christine Shields. Sydney Catherine Shields. Tali Shkinev. Larry Shiti. Miller Selina Sitao. Faris Farak Siddiqui. Emily Lucinda Sluis. Marianne Sokolovsky. Yushin Song. Jan Jyochishmur Kumar Soni. Michael Frank Spagnoletti. Matthew James Spiegel. Evan John George Spence. Aaron James Sprague. Shobitsa Srinatharan. Natalia Stasiak. Harry Ian Thomas Stevenson. Madison Marie Sweeney. Aisha Taha. Joseph Michael Tam. Bella Tayal. Irina Georgia Tepelanis. Henry Tai. Roshin Shoshana Thomas. Justin Brett Tohana. Simona Tomic. San Than Trong. Leon Sao. Helen Tse. Mingxiao Tu. Rola Tufaha. Ma Tut. Navrup Singh Tut. Matthew Kenneth Tias. Ty William Upson. Jérémy Veilleux. Pratik Verma. Amanda Duan Vo. Ksenia Vukojic. Emily Lily Wagner. Joseph Daniel Wallace. Lauren Nicole Walsh. Chen Wang. Zhang Yuan Wang. Miao Wang. Rihan Wang. Jian Yi Wang. Yixuan Wang. Zirui Wang. Xiyue Wang. Balani Wania Charachi. Stacey Ann Warner. Ahmed Wasim. Ryan Witcher. Thomas Adam Vickerink. Lexis Mackenzie Williams. Aisha Wilson. Karen Yi Wen Wong. Madeline Gloria Woodley. Hale Elizabeth Woolley. Bonning Wu. Chen Wu. Hao Yi Wu. Jinlin Wu. Pengguan Wu. Shihan Wu. Fuxian Shu. Xing Shu. Qianli Shu. Yanwei Shu. Yuhuan Yan. Lexian Yang. Howard Yang. Yu Ting Yang. Jen Chuan Yang. Jiahang Yao. Ye Yao. Harrison Yen. Reem Yusuf. Rui Ning Yu. Mashi Zaman. Alex Yeshi Zhang. Xinang Zhang. Yu Zhang. Yue Meng Zhang. Xishuan Zhang. Jitsi Zhao. Weiqing Zhao. Victor Jen Yang. Shiro Jing. Guanghang Zhao. Chanyi Zhao. Yuting Zhao. Hai Zhu. Namin Zia. Adil Naim Zohri. Skylar Zwal. Andrew Garner Zilak. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Commerce. Tejas Amit Mehta. Mohammed Patri.
Let's give one more round of applause for our graduates. I would now like to introduce Ms. Momina Qurashi, a graduate of the degree Honors Bachelor of Commerce, who will be delivering the valedictorian address.
In true business fashion, I'd like to start off by addressing and thanking some key stakeholders in the room today. Chancellor Ms. Santi Smith, President and Vice Chancellor Dr. David Farrar, Dean of the DeGroote School of Business, Dr. Khalid Hussain, and distinguished faculty and staff. To the organizers behind the scenes who have made our first in-person convocation post-pandemic possible, thank you. To the proud parents, family, and friends watching from here or afar, thank you for your guidance and support in making this moment possible. And most importantly, fellow members of the DeGroote graduating class of 2022, we did it. My name is Momina Qurashi, and I'm incredibly honored to be giving the valedictorian address. To all the DeGroote graduates in the audience, I want you to close your eyes and picture this. It's your first day of university. You're walking around McMaster, struggling to find Musk. In fact, you don't even know what Musk means, or BSB, DSB, TSH, MDCL, because everybody and their grandmother seems to be using these crazy acronyms to describe every single building on campus. You're lost, confused, overwhelmed. Now open your eyes and take in the last few years. You've persevered and made it to the finishing line of your undergraduate journey. Like many of you, the start of my undergraduate journey wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, when that first exam season of first year hit, my grades were hanging by a thread. Knees quivering, hands shaking, I walked into our beloved student experience office. "Why are you here today?" they asked. I immediately burst into tears. It was that moment of comfort that I was given 9 words that changed the trajectory of my university journey. You are here for a reason. Find your purpose. And so my quest began. Hidden far beyond textbooks, I discovered valuable lessons surrounding resiliency, diversity, and community. After all, it is education with purpose that is not only the tagline, but the crux of the degree that we hold today. So let's examine the question of the hour. What is education with purpose? Education with purpose represents diversity. Look around you. You are surrounded by fellow peers from different backgrounds, heritages, traditions, all of whom which make a mosaic of the graduating class of 2022. The diversity around you is a symbol for a brighter future, full of award-winning ideas and innovations. Education with purpose is the experiences that you've built along the way. From learning the art of choosing which one of these is the most correct answer in multiple choice exams, to having your first ever Saturday midterm on HOCO, to the mouth-watering feeling of experiencing your first ever Willy Dog, to participating and leading many extracurriculars and intramurals, and sometimes maybe even spending more time on the fun than the academics. We're not only binded by this very fancy piece of paper, but captured memories of the DeGroote community that you'll be telling your future families at the dinner table, looking back with sheer nostalgia, pride, and joy. It's also the mistakes that you've made along the way, including leaving your 3 QA3 lectures to watch at the last minute on 2x speed, or pre-planning this big 24-hour thode grind to only walk away with deep life chats and a few words on that document. Your name, your student number, and if you're lucky, the title. Education with purpose is resiliency through hardship. Knowing that you are on this path to achieve something great, but challenges may arise throughout the way. Midway throughout our degree, we said goodbye to the campus we called home and said hello to a newfound way to learn. With 8:30 a.m. lectures in bed, and online presentations wearing sweatpants at the bottom and a blazer on top. Dare I say, a newfound approach to business casual. In these times of uncertainty, you embraced change and returned to campus not taking anything for granted. When you walk out these doors and step into now what's known as the real world, remember that purpose that you started off with and how that's evolved over the last 4 or 5 years. Being at DeGroote has only determined a part of who you are. Your purpose is about to go through so many iterations of reevaluation and rediscovery. So it's inevitable that there will be moments that will feel like that first day all over again. But if there's one key takeaway that I can leave you with, it's to remember that within a snap of your fingers, the world can come to a full pivot. As the next generation of business leaders, we now harness that power to channel resiliency and work with our diverse communities to make a lasting impact. I challenge you, no matter how big or small, take that leap of faith, embrace curiosity, and make your bright ideas a reality. It's the small actions that make a big impact. And as you start to navigate this real world, simply the commonality of being a McMaster graduate is the gateway to so many conversations and connections. If you ever need anything, there are so many people around you that are proud of you and everything that you've done so far. You've got the power of this community supporting you for your next chapter. Class of 2022, congratulations and welcome to the start of leaving your legacy with purpose.
Thank you, Momina. May I now introduce Roger Brown, a graduate from the Bachelor of Commerce class of 2010 and a representative of the McMaster Alumni Association. Roger will now deliver the Alumni Association address.
Thank you. Before I actually get into the alumni address, I'd like to share my favorite moment of this morning. As I looked over the leadership of the school and the graduates proceeded to get congratulated, one particular student stuck with me. He gave a fist pump to the chancellor and said, "Let's go." At that moment, two things dawned on me. I knew they were ready to get out into the real world, but I also knew that I had to rewrite my speech. So, Chancellor Smith, President Farrar, award winners, honorees, faculty, fellow alumni, distinguished guests, and especially members of the McMaster class of 2022. A few years or a few decades from now, your memories of McMaster will be dominated by friendships, by extracurricular activities, or perhaps learning experiences that sent you on a particular path. For this class specifically, the pandemic could play a central role in your memories, or it may be just a footnote. Regardless, there's a good chance that significant parts of your time at Mac will become what we often call the good old days. All the philosophers have written about the good old days, including giants like Bruce Springsteen, Dolly Parton, Usher, and probably the greatest philosopher of them all, Rick Astley. But on this topic, I prefer the wisdom of Andy Bernard of the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, who said, "I wish there was a way to know when you're in the good old days before you actually left them." Regardless of the specific Mac memories that stick with you, regardless of how your student experience influences your life, I hope McMaster stays with you as part of your good old days. And like me, I hope Mac will continue to play a role in your good new days. Our job at the McMaster Alumni Association is to give you a variety of ways to link your present to the past, to the best parts of your McMaster past. As new grads, you're also members of Mac 10, which supports alumni in the first 10 years after graduation. Whether you're looking for assistance getting that first job or helping navigate the next steps of your career, the Alumni Association offers resources, events, programs, and even alumni career counselor to assist. Don't be shy to reach out. As you begin your adulting period of your life, we connect you to exciting things like preferred rates on home, auto insurance, or health and dental coverage, and social events where we collectively reminisce about the good old days on Zoom. And even if your path takes you away from Hamilton, whether that's in Canadian centers from Victoria to Halifax, or in national cities around the world, there may be McMaster alumni events and connections nearby. Just keep your contact information up to date on alumni.mcmaster.ca, and we'll make sure you receive invitations whenever there's something going on in your community. Of course, there's never an ending stream of events, networking opportunities, mentoring and programming that you can access online from anywhere, live or on demand when it fits your schedule. When you leave Convocation, I know my little speech will not be your most powerful memory of the day, but hopefully some echo of it will linger in the back of your mind when you're ready and when you want to connect with your university again. When that day comes, 2 weeks or 20 years from now, we'll be here to connect. Members of McMaster Class of 2022, congratulations, and let's go.
Thank you, Roger. I would now like to invite our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, back to the podium to deliver his President's Address.
Chancellor Smith, distinguished guests, award winners, faculty, members of the McMaster community, members of the McMaster graduating class of 2022, friends and family. It's really good to be here in person and not to see you on a small screen in a small square. For 2 years, we have been dealing with an unwelcome guest in our lives, a global pandemic that has reminded us of how fragile our lives really are and how much we need to be together. Members of the graduating class, for more than 2 years, you have worked in isolation, disruption, and possibly even dealing with health challenges and personal losses created by COVID-19. In spite of the formidable conditions, you have completed your degree, You persisted. So let me congratulate each and every one of you on your ability to adapt, thrive, and succeed. As you graduate from McMaster today, you have the opportunity to choose a vision for your future and a vision for our planet. The question is, what will you do with that choice, that freedom, that power? Undoubtedly, the last 2 years have given you the opportunity to reflect on what really matters to you, and that will lead to your next steps. Today, we find ourselves facing not only the global pandemic, but an alarming decline in the strength of our democratic institutions, an increasing gap of wealth between classes, the acceleration of the negative impacts of climate change, and the possibility of a widening war in Eastern Europe. These challenges seem great, and sometimes we can be overwhelmed with a feeling of powerlessness. But what can we do as individuals to take these significant questions and make a difference? Let me offer 2 examples. 50 years ago, a young social worker from Philadelphia, concerned about the hunger and food insecurity she was seeing in low-income neighborhoods where she was working, published a small paperback book called Diet for a Small Planet. This was one of the original copies. Frances Moore LePay's argument was that universal access to healthy and sustainable foods would provide a global springboard to build a better environment, more functional democracies, stronger economies, and increased social justice. Moore LePay was not a vegetarian, but it seemed obvious to her that growing plants for consumption was much more cost-effective and eco-conscious than raising animals for food. The book reflected her deep concern that our small, highly interconnected planet was failing in its responsibility to meet the fundamental needs of people to have healthy food. The connection between healthy food and strong democracies may seem obvious today, but at the time of Diet for a Small Planet, it was considered radical and dangerous. Moore LePay's ideas and arguments were attacked by the large food processing companies, by agribusinesses, and by the meat industry. At the same time, her vision was influencing a new generation of farmers, cooks, and restaurateurs. The farm-to-table movement, community-supported agriculture, more sustainable farming, and organic farming can all be traced back to the revolutionary vision contained in this small paperback. It sold millions of copies, and it's just been released in its 50th edition. It was a vision of hope and possibility, and it called for courage to act individually and together. Let me give you one other very small example closer to home. A few years ago, Canada's largest bakery created a sustainability team with a goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and divert waste from landfill. One of the company's suppliers raised the issue of the small plastic bread tags. Could they be replaced with something more sustainable? The bread tags were so small that most people don't think about them, but the company knew that if you laid the red plastic tags side by side, in 1 year they would go from Vancouver to St. John's, Newfoundland, and back. That's a lot of single-use plastics. Replacing it took considerable trial and error. They couldn't compromise on the quality of the packaging and the bread, or they'd be creating food waste. Eventually, they came up with a bread tag that was made from 100% recycled cardboard that itself is both recyclable and compostable. This month, they have transitioned to fully using the new cardboard tags on their bread products. A small change, but a huge difference. So what will you do with your McMaster degree? Maybe your passion will be addressing global challenge, or maybe it will be inequity or social injustice, medicine or health, technology. But given the pace of change, it may involve some challenge that nobody has even imagined. So how do you prepare for that? Look back at your years at McMaster, and I hope you'll see the answer. You prepare by being curious, by being resilient, collaborative, ambitious, and determined, by challenging assumptions and focusing on facts, and by making courageous choices. I encourage you, as you celebrate this milestone, to take some time to think about your contributions to a better, brighter world. Whatever your area of study, your McMaster education has equipped you with the tools to solve critical problems and to make a significant positive impact on our community. I'm confident that you will take the experience and the insight of living through a pandemic, and from that, you'll create a world worth having. And finally, when you receive your diploma from McMaster, you'll note that there's only one name on it, but I suspect that many people have helped you get to this day of your graduation. So I hope you'll take some time to thank all of those people in your life who helped you get here. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel as if you're crossing a finish line, but you're actually just beginning. I wish you the very best on your journey. Welcome to the worldwide community of McMaster alumni.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. May I invite our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, back to the podium to deliver the closing remarks.
Class of 2022. Let's go! Yeah! Congratulations. Let's give everyone a round of applause. Let's go. I myself am a McMaster graduate alumna, and I look forward to seeing where you go from here and what path you take. Thank you for all of the beautiful words and the empowering words that we heard today. Really felt that and connected our minds and hearts on those words. Congratulations to Momina for all of your achievement and for sharing your words as well. As Mr. Brown says, let's go eloquently. You are now all graduates and members of this wonderful McMaster alumni family. McMaster has a way of calling you back, and I convocated in 1994 and 5 with a degree in physical education, honors BPE, and psychology, but my path took me to become an artist. But those years here at McMaster have served me very well in my research, in my writing. So whatever path you take, and whatever purpose you find, McMaster will always be there to support you forward in your journey. Congratulations. To Dr. Farrar, let's go. You gave us a lot to think about purpose and impact and the decisions we make now about our future. All my best wishes to the graduates. May you take those words with you and all the words you heard today as you go forward. And now in closing, I have a few final announcements. A reception will be held for graduates and their guests in the Wentworth Room in the Convention Center, immediately following the ceremony. I encourage all graduates and guests to make their way up to the mezzanine level, where a number of photo opportunities have been set up in and outside of the Great Hall. Finally, I would like to ask you to please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession has departed and the graduates have left the hall. Please join in the singing of the national anthem, and after the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned.